Happy Monday morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm your host, Josh Ellsworth, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us live on air. If you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching the recording afterwards, that's okay too. Feel free to type in comments, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll make sure we get back to you and answer any questions you have throughout this show. So we're midway through December. We're prepping for the holiday season. This is probably the last week to get those orders out if that's your type of business. And we're excited for that. I know for me and my little side hustle business, we always do pretty good business in December because the organizations that we work with, they're looking to launch fundraiser sales and those sorts of things to sell to parents that can get gifts for their children for Christmas, and then also things like teacher gifts at schools and those sorts of things. So plenty of opportunity. You just got to look out for it and make it part of your planning around this time of year. And so as we look at some holiday looks, we've had a couple different things shared on our Facebook page. And so this week's Look of the Weeks, we have two of them. One is from Suzanne Shipley-Nichols. And a couple cool things about this. One is you're seeing the incorporation of some trending patterns. And so this is fashion film, as well as our CAD Cut Patterns product, which is a product you can buy by the roll. That's the leopard print, I believe it is, and then the buffalo plaid. If you're not doing anything with white and black buffalo plaid, it's been a huge trend for this year. I would encourage you to try to hop on that, maybe get some last minute sales. But you can see these multimedia designs on tote bags, all done in different styles. So we love this look created, a mixed media design. And then this one is pretty cool. There's a couple things I like about this. One, it's the merchandising of the look. And so the way you shoot your photos and display it, it's a nice wood backdrop. Could very easily be shot on a wood floor, laminate floor, I don't know, in somebody's home. But you're seeing the merchandising of just bringing in the Christmas ornaments to give it some style with the foil. And so in this particular case, Tori submitted this, and we thank her for that. You see a lot of colors incorporated. There's a few different ways you can get this look. One is by using heat transfer foil, and what you would do is you would cut all of the Christmas light bulbs that you see in the multicolors there. You would press down your white film and your black film first, and then you would hit it with a CAD Cut adhesive, just an adhesive product to lay that down. And then you snip out and spread your little pieces of foil over the design. So it's a one-of-a-kind design. A lot of time and effort certainly went into this. Another way, if you didn't need the foil or the metallic look on the Christmas lights, is you could easily run this application in print cut and be able to print, cut, and weed that whole design off of a printer. So really cool look that you can execute here. And we thank the submissions for Look of the Week. I know you guys are always sharing your looks on the Facebook page. We're always inspired by them, gives a lot of cool ideas. So I already see a lot of oohs and ahs and good morning. I'm sitting here beside the new cat press, so that's always an exciting time. One of our most exciting products as we head into 2020 and do our business planning for 2020 on what products are going to help our customers grow their sales. This is certainly one of our favorites, a crowd favorite as well. So good morning, Andrew from South Carolina. We see Marcia watching. We have Patrice from Texas. Good morning. Mike from Canada. Always good to see you, Mike. And we're ready to get this party started. So I think we've already started the party. So have you started the party yet, Taylor? Taylor's laughing behind the scenes. She's helping to control our camera angles this morning. So I'm a member of the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group, which is a Stahls Facebook group. And so I'll engage a lot and have some conversations on there and follow the conversation strings. And I couldn't help but it caught my attention when someone asked the question, who do you recommend or what do you recommend for a full color plastisol transfer? And so when you think about that, the design we just looked at with the Christmas lights, it's very challenging to achieve that with a spot color technique. And whether you're burning screens and pulling the squeegee down to push ink through the screens to get all those different colors, you need to burn a different screen for every color. If you're doing heat transfer vinyl, we typically need to cut and weed for every color. And so we love technologies that are digital printing. We love digital print cut machines because that'll allow me to print all my color all in a single layer, cut the design, weed it out, and have a finished look. However, When you talk about plastisol, there's really not a plastisol print cut vinyl, so to speak. You're having to print individual pieces with that process, weed it away to get that look. And of course, with the weeding process, there are some limitations on level of detail. And so that's why you see a lot of decorators like yourself needing something just a little bit different once you start to hit quantity or a certain level of detail that you just can't achieve through vinyl with cutting and weeding. And so I wanted to just answer that question directly on air because we have some new technology available from our Transfer Express division that we've been working hard on for the last little while, as long as I can remember really, and it's finally center stage. And that product is our Stretch Litho mat. And so I have a couple different samples I want to show you just of the finished results first, and then I'm going to show you the transfer sheet. And so this gives you a good example of that. I mean, you could achieve this in print cut, but this was actually done in a screen printed transfer where we have a 7-color logo that's completed, and we can see it's pressed to a performance polyester here. And that's one of the advantages of this new digital transfer technology, is it presses only at 275 degrees. We see also sort of a school logo, and I don't know how far you can zoom, Taylor, but there's some pretty fine text underneath the McKinley where it says McKinley High School. And so that would be something that some of you would cut and weed, but you wouldn't have a whole lot of fun doing that if you're producing 24 or 36 of these designs. I'm going to pull another look into the frame. Doesn't always have to be full color with these technologies. This is just a 2-color design, but you can see the level of detail and the fine result here, and we're getting the benefit of a single-step application. And so when you think about digital transfers, the cool thing I wanted to show you is all of those transfers are on the same sheet. And so this is one of our smaller sheet sizes, but we just updated the program to be an 11.5-inch by 18-inch sheet. So there is a ton of real estate to nest up different designs. And keep in mind, this is a full color technology. So not only are we able to get really fine detail, there's no color limitations. So you'll see 5 different logos, all with different colorways, and it doesn't matter because it's just a simple pricing structure. You're paying for the sheet. That means group up all of your customer jobs and place them onto one sheet. So that shows you a multi-logo, and then of course you can go with same logo as well. So you can gang traditionally with just full color designs, see all of the intricate detail. And so have a couple other things, and the reason I like this one is because it shows photo quality. So even having a picture, a full color image, or like a rendering of the burger for the restaurant, presumably. A lot of different technology involved here. We are digitally printing, and we are also screen printing onto the same sheet. So it gives you the benefit of a screen printing look and feel with all the advantages of digital printing. So no color limitations, 1 color, 1 million colors, put it all on one sheet, gang it together. It doesn't matter. And so I really wanted to point that out because we've featured it a few times here on the show. You know, I've seen comments in the Facebook group about Transfer Express being expensive. I would encourage you to take a second look with the larger sheet size and the pricing in the way this is set up, because it's actually quite cost effective when you think about grouping up your jobs and being able to decorate in this way. And so just to show you how the process works, I'm going to trim one of these out from the sheet, and we're going to head over to the heat press. Got all types of application type stuff for you in the show because I know you guys love that stuff. So let's head over there. So I have my heat press booted up to 275 degrees, and I will stop and answer questions here in a moment if you guys have those. Something really important on this is when you first start your first application of the day or of the afternoon, when your heat press is sat dormant for a while, always preheat that lower platen. A lot of people wonder why they have an issue with their first or second application. It's because it's not heated underneath, so always preheat. That's a good first recommendation, especially in these winter months. If you're in the Northeast like I am here in Pennsylvania, had a little bit of snow last night, so it's a little cooler in the room today. I'm going to load my shirt on, and then I'm also going to just preheat the garment, and that just, I always say, it removes the moisture and the wrinkles. The moisture is the main thing, removing from the garment to give me a nice pressing area. And so I'm going to position my design down, and you can see it's a clear carrier, so I can see through everything. This is one of the few transfer products that actually recommends you use a cover sheet. If you don't use a cover sheet, what you'll see is this back carrier is going to start sticking to the heater after you get several applications in. So always just cover that with a cover sheet, and then you're going to press it for 275 degrees. I believe it's 10 to 15 seconds, or maybe 11 to 15 seconds. I have it at 12 seconds here. It'll count down, it'll beep, and this is a cold peel. That means I'm going to remove it completely from the press. I'll just be a little bit careful when I'm sliding my cover sheet off. Remove it completely from the press, lay it to the side, and let it cool completely down before I peel the backing. And so that can take, you can peel this before you place it in the box. You really don't need a second application. Some people like to do a second application. It's certainly optional, and that will make the transfer kind of blend in to the fiber of the garment. But make sure if you are going to do that second application that you do cover it with a cover sheet. So while I'm waiting just for this to cool down, since we're not pressing a bunch in a row, I'm going to try to read the questions here. All right, so yeah, you're welcome for the reminder to preheat the lower platen. Ken asked a question, what digital material do you recommend for the Roland Eco-Solvent printer? I've tried several from Stahls, but they have been horrible trying to weed them. I'm sure it's something I'm doing wrong. So when you look at the digital print cut materials that work with the Roland, if you're talking about an opaque material, meaning a white-based material for dark garments, there's two products. One is Express Print that I recommend. So if you're looking for something that just is kind of middle of the road as far as feel on the garment, but is really fast and easy to produce with, Express Print is sort of that good all-purpose, good economical price point. The other one that I would recommend is a product called Soft Opaque. And so you're going to get considerably softer. On the Soft Opaque, it's a little bit less than half of the thickness of Express Print on the garment. So if you know our heat transfer vinyl line, I'd say that's a little bit more equivalent to like a Premium Plus look and feel. That's called Soft Opaque. That one should be pretty easy to print, cut, and weed, both of those. The Soft Opaque is a little bit more difficult to mask. You have to use a little higher tack of a mask, which makes it more difficult, but you work a little harder for that premium result. So if you're still having issues, it probably is something with a blade depth or a dry time or a cutting over ink. And I'll follow up with you, Ken, to figure out if we can dial it in, because they should be pretty easy products to work with, those two especially. Now, we have a product called Sublastop that is a little more stretchier to work with, so it's a little more difficult to cut, can't do as fine a detail, but we still sell a ton of that for inhibiting dye migration on the garments. So let's see. So Mike says that would be perfect for custom neck labels. Yeah, absolutely. So you can do some good free-floating text, some good fine detail. The thing that I like is that you can group all of these logos up together, and so you can do a mix. You could actually do a front print, neck label print, sleeve print, bag print, etc., all in one job. And so I'm going to let this is all the way cooled down, and then I'm just going to peel the backing from it. And you don't have to be afraid when you're peeling it. You'll feel it kind of holding against it a bit, but the finished look and feel is just phenomenal. This is on a tri-blend hoodie, very lightweight, very smooth product, especially when you consider that you don't have to weed all this. You can design with a lot more open areas, which helps to even give it a lighter weight feel. I think there was literally one customer that I've heard so far that has tried this product that had any bit of negative feedback. Everybody just is raving about this. So I'm telling our sales team that just talk to more customers about this product. It's a real problem solver. It's not only going to help us grow your business, of course it does that because it just simplifies your life and your decoration techniques. So that's Stretch Litho Matte. Wanted to just re-hit that again to make sure you've heard about that product before. Now, actually last night I was working to pack up some Christmas gifts for the teachers at my daughter's school. And when I started to think, what could we get these teachers? I'm on the board there. I wanted to come up with something that was easy to execute, fairly low cost in the grand scheme of things, because there's 24 teachers, so we're going to have to buy all these gifts from the school board. And I wanted it to be something that had a premium look and feel. And so I'm going to queue up another video. We videotaped me making these samples, and I think you'll really like the finished result with our FlexStyle pressure sensitive emblems. Hey everybody, I wanted to take a second to show you a recent FlexStyle order that came in that I ordered. This is the pressure sensitive version, and show you an unboxing and explain how the process works. So number one, I uploaded my artwork to Stahls.com under the art uploader section. I paid $52 to get a virtual proof, which showed me what this would look like. And then I approved it, and then I ordered, in this case, I ordered 100 pieces and paid for the logo. Now, after I approved the virtual proof, I had a choice whether or not I wanted samples prior to the full order. And so I could have paid an additional $25 to get 5 samples separate from the order. But instead, I just decided to order it. I knew enough from looking at the virtual proof, but went ahead and received the samples in the package anyways, an extra 5 logos, which is nice. And then these are 100 of the prints that I ordered. Now, I mentioned before in a Facebook post, I ordered these 2¼ inches. And the reason why is they work across a wide variety of items. The particular use case is for 25 travel mug teacher gifts for the school that my daughter goes to, for all the teachers for Christmas. But again, at that size, even if I pull out my phone, you know, it's a perfect size for the back of a phone case, to even go onto a mug, a laptop, anything like that. So you can use them in a lot of different ways. It's just a sticker, really easy to apply. So I actually need to make these, so I'm going to make one on camera. I brainstormed with one of my team members here and came up with this jig. Basically, everybody probably has 2 rolls of vinyl or paper towels or whatever it may be. I've put those in place so my cup rests easy in there, so I can get a nice accurate location. Just dropped a couple of weights, in this case platens, beside to hold those into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this. There's no front, back, or anything to this. And I'm going to line up the base of this perfectly with these rolls. At that point, I'm using a laser, one of our laser alignment systems, and I've set up 2 of the line lasers I'm going to flip on, which will give me a horizontal in a vertical line. Really, I just need the horizontal line, but I like the vertical there. It's a nice point of reference for me. And then I'm able to line it up. And so I'm just going to peel back the carrier. This is really sticky. I ordered the pressure sensitive version, and this is the textured logo with some metallic. I put in the notes, I asked for metallic and then white, just a flat white in the center. And I've set this up so I'm actually going to line up the base of the print, the base of the M there in Mount Moriah, across that horizontal line. And actually, I'm going to turn off the vertical line because I don't need it. And then as long as that's accurate, I just hold that in place, and I'm just going to rub it to put that into place. Actually, once I position, I'll pull it off, rub it so I can apply pressure without moving my rolls into place. Peel off the carrier sheet. That is stuck on there for good. Top rack, dishwasher safe. No issues at all. So that's as simple as it is. And we'll let you get some close-ups here so you can get the dimension of that logo. So overall, with the art setup and the price per logo at that size, I was just short of about $4 per logo with shipping and everything all in. So it's definitely a premium gift item, premium product. You can order it in the pressure sensitive version like I have here, which is very versatile. You can also order it in a heat applied version in case I wanted to take this same logo, which I've already paid the art setup for. I can now order it as heat transfer without that extra $52 and heat press that onto apparel, hats, whatever I would want to do. So hopefully this gives you some idea and gives you a nice look at FlexStyle, how to order it, how to apply it, and how it arrives. So pretty easy process, pretty unique gift. I love how simple that is. It's almost too easy, but at the end of the day, you're paying somewhere around $3 to $4 a logo. As I mentioned in the video, I just went ahead and ordered 100 of them because I know I'll be able to come back and use those logos on other products and other items throughout the year that we can even launch as a fundraiser into the school. I believe we can even just sell the loose logos for kids to put on their notebooks or cell phones or whatever they want, and be able to turn a profit on the balance of the logos to make money back for the school as well. So very simple, very easy. Hopefully that inspires you. I think that FlexStyle product is awesome for apparel, but the pressure sensitive application is just so simple that I recommend you try it and take advantage of that. And so we're going to work with FlexStyle a little bit more, and I want to show you our 360 IQ hat press and press some stuff live on air for our last 5 or 10 minutes together. And you can just, if you're just tuning in, you can watch the recording after it's all done, by the way, and see my hacked laser alignment system that we just showed you there. So I'll have to give credit to Bob. He's much more mechanically inclined than I am, so he came up with the system, and I just got to come in and do one, and then he actually finished the rest for me after I left the room, which was really nice of him. But anyways, we're going to zoom in here to the 360 IQ cap press. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to heat apply FlexStyle on this. A couple things. One is we take it for granted, but this heat press heats from the bottom and the top, and so that's very important to point out, that it's heating from the bottom, which when you start applying dimensional logos like the FlexStyle that you saw in the last video, or embroidered emblems or leather patches, heating from that bottom is very important. We also have a silicone molded base that really helps to eliminate the crease mark on the hat. So when you couple heating from the bottom with the silicone molded base together, I never have to change a platen. I can print any type of dimensional transfer on this without issue. And so from a technique standpoint, I like to bring the hat in from the side and load it on. You can flip the sweatband out if it's a thick sweatband, but then I'm going to flip down a hold down device on the right hand side, and that just helps to hold the cap in place. So I'm looking for good contact between the platen and the front of the hat, which this has, and then I'm ready to position my design and heat apply it. The cool thing about any base that heats from underneath, even for our normal heat presses, which are add-on attachments, is you don't have to preheat the garment. So it completely removes that step for you. Now, this press, you can't see it, it's down here, it has a Fusion IQ control board that allows me to control the top heat, which I have set at 280 degrees, and the bottom heat, which I have set at 320 degrees independently. The machine also comes with 3 different pad thicknesses, as you see here. And so the really thick pad is like for 3D embroidery, which is some products we'll be launching in the new year. But this thin pad is what I'm going to use for the FlexStyle. So you want to pick the pad thickness that's the same thickness of the transfer. And the reason we did the white pad is because these are the ones specifically for the hat press, covers the whole hat, which also helps to prevent the scorch marking as well. So we're getting rid of the crease, we're getting rid of the scorch mark, and we're able to apply dimensional logos in very little time in the grand scheme of things. So I'm going to position my design into place. I'll hold it there for just a second. And then I'm going to cover it with the special pad. And then I'm going to heat apply. And I hold down for a second just so that magnet can engage for 20 seconds. So if you currently own a hat press, you know you've fiddled with changing out platens and building up the base and using pillows and mouse pads and you name it to try to get rid of that nasty crease mark. And so while that's still an okay way and you can do some cool things and hack your machine to get an accurate application, this particular process just makes it a lot easier and a lot more scalable. And so after you pull the hat off of the machine, I always recommend pull it off the machine to let it cool down for just a few seconds so you're not peeling against the curve. And then you're just going to remove the backing from the transfer. And that's a completed cap. Now we call this the 360 press because I can hit all sorts of different locations on the cap. So if I want to load the cap back in, it's very easy to be pressing a side application or a back application or the other side. So you can rotate this cap 360 degrees of printing area. So again, this is our FlexStyle transfer type. I'm going to just try to bring it a little bit closer. We'll let the camera try to adjust. Maybe. There we go. You can see the texture and dimension. You can see no scorch mark, no crease that you typically get with normal hat printing. I'm just laughing at the comment that was just made, so let you guys read it for yourself. But yeah, this is top of line. It's new technology, so it even makes our older style of hat presses, which I know a lot of you have and a lot of you make money with, a little less functional for pressing today's current headwear with today's current transfer. So let's bring in another cap because I want to show you a few different styles. I'm going to press a trucker cap, just going to bring it in, again, lock it into place. You're going to position your design, cover it with your cover sheet, and lock it down. You can kind of hear the magnet click. Going to give that the 20 seconds. So it's very quick, very easy. I always tell people once you start getting one of these presses and you have one operator, they may be able to operate 2 machines at a time because it takes 20 seconds to lock it down, and you can keep moving back and forth between the machines, especially with the auto open. That can sit there as long as you want it to until you're ready to unlock the hold down device and remove it from the press. Again, just giving it a few seconds to cool down and then removing the backing. So very quick, very easy. Now we've showed you some high crown, which means a big distance between the bill and the top of the hat, some high crown caps. So far we've pressed one with what's called a fused buckram, which basically means that part of the hat that makes it structured, a structured cap. Usually those are the most difficult to press. We've even pressed caps with acrylic in them on this machine with this pad, like this cap, without issue. So I'll just press that one for you so you can see. Always remove the cardboard, of course. Bring the hat in, lock it into place. Position your design. You can heat press this stuff right over the seam. Typically it's not going to be an issue. And then give it the full application. So you'll see it's designed to be used with the pad. So it's designed specifically to be used with the pad with the offset distance that we've left between the top heater and the bottom silicone molded base. So you always want to use the pad when you're doing heat applied applications with this press. Again, any style hat. Put that one to the side because I want to show you a visor as well, because I get some questions. I think when we post our first YouTube video on that, we had a question about a visor. So you can bring the visor on, load that as well. Again, you don't want to load it up this high because then the top of the press is going to meet the bill. You always want to bring it down to this little lip on the machine. It just makes it easy. So the price on this machine is $1,295. We are currently shipping these and catching up on all the pre-orders, which we imagine will be out of by around mid-January to end of January, caught up on a lot of the pre-orders. So if you want this machine, it's a pre-order situation, and then basically we'll put you on the list and give you an estimated date on when your machine will ship out. It's all digital, time, temperature, and pressure. I usually don't use the digital pressure too much on this because you just want the same pressure for any style hat. You have a lot of give on the pressure because of your foam pad and your silicone base. I do have people that have used this press to, heat apply sleeves and neck labels. You hear about all the stories and different things you can do with a cap press. So lots of opportunity there. So this is cooled down. I'm going to peel it. Hopefully you're seeing that. Yep. This one's cooled down. If I can get a hold of it and peel it off. So all with FlexStyle but embroidered emblems. You see all of these different products out on the market. This is a huge revenue opportunity. I would say one of the top new revenue opportunities that's out there for this year. So I'm trying to show you different ways that you can incorporate not just headwear as part of the business, but the FlexStyle products. So elevating it higher end. Why would you want to do that? Because you can make more profit for every piece that you sell. So if you can spend your time and energy, especially as a small business, talking about higher end pieces, whether that's higher end garments, full color decoration, FlexStyle type logos on higher end items, or even at the heat press when you're spending your time, every time you lock it down, you want to be making more revenue for every piece that you lock down rather than just playing in the $5 t-shirt game. So I would challenge you in 2020 to see if you can kind of elevate some of the looks that you're doing. That starts with having professional equipment, attending things like this. You can tap into the latest products and technologies that not everybody in your community is going to have or be able to execute. So with that, I'm going to take a look and see if there's additional questions here. All right. Yeah, I've been waiting on someone to improve the hat press. Trust me, we've been working on it. And I've read all of your feedback. Sometimes we can't respond and say things, but we do hear you, and we are working on improvements on all technologies across the board all the time. That's a really nice Ferrari press. Is that what that says? Mm-hmm. Ferrari press? Yeah, so $1,295, Ken. So my math says you make $10 in profit a hat. You're paid back after, what is that? After maybe 4 or 5 jobs of a couple dozen to a few dozen each. So you can pay back this nice equipment. Really, it's just a matter of, can you sell? Can you identify the customers to buy this? That's always the #1 question. Will there be any show specials on the new heat press at the PPI Expo? Kelly, unfortunately, since we're sold into back order on these, the $12.95 will be the price. At a trade show, you may be able to get free shipping out of somebody, but I would encourage you to get on the list. Shipping's only $25, $30 on this machine anyways, and not wait. But there'll certainly be presses on all, or specials on all of our other stuff at those shows. So, good. So, wanted to thank everybody for attending today. Hopefully this inspired you and gave you some ideas. We're going to enjoy Christmas and the New Year and start planning on our schedule for 2020. So this will be our last episode until January 6th of the morning show. We'll certainly put some other videos out in the meantime. But if we don't get a chance to talk to you live before then, we wish you and your families a very Merry Christmas and certainly a prosperous New Year for your business with your decorating goals. Thanks for watching the Stahls TV Morning Show.